Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come In at Night.
Mostly.
Well, yeah. Here we are again. Hope everyone had a good holiday break. Hopefully everyone had a good New Year's and a good Christmas if you celebrated all that good stuff. I just hope you had a good break. We had a pretty good break. And we're back at it. Holy shit. If you haven't, go to our social medias. Go to our YouTube, all your web zones. You go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining if you are. Thanks for all the stuff. We're going to be a little bit more active on our socials. I've taken it upon myself to try and do that as social media manager. I'm actually going to do my job.
Will's giving himself a new job title.
Yeah. I really have. Because who cares? But I am going to try and start posting. So thanks whoever participated in that poll I put up. Thanks for going on there, doing your thing.
Hey, if you want to, you can even message suggestions on there if you want to.
Yeah, if you really want to.
If you got a suggestion, because guess what the next episode is after this episode?
Yeah.
It's going to be one of your suggestions.
Yeah, we do it every 5 episodes. So go ahead and do that. You can do it on Instagram. We have Threads now.
Wherever.
X, all that, Twitter, sorry.
I still call it Twitter. I don't care.
Who cares?
I don't
Twitter,
care.
Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. For all you boomers out there, we're still on Facebook or Meta or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, just go there, comment. We're going to be a lot more active with that. So it's going to be a good year for the podcast, I think. I think it's going to be probably one of our strongest. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, we are getting off to a good start, Will.
Yes, we watched Truth or Dare, A Critical Madness.
Now,
I do have some history with this movie. Because your boy is a big Lord of the Rings fan. I'm huge into that shit. And when I remember just randomly, I was going through this rabbit hole of interviews with the actors, cast and everything of Lord of the Rings, and Elijah Wood has, I think it was Craig Ferguson or something. So. I can't remember, but he had mentioned that his favorite movie was Truth or Dare, and I can't remember what I was his
watching. Favorite horror movie.
Well, yeah, it's favorite horror movie. Sorry, not his favorite movie, but yeah, it's a favorite horror movie. And I can't remember what I was watching, but they showed a clip from it of a guy leaning out a window with a chainsaw and sawing a kid. And I was like, what the fuck is this movie? I didn't have the wherewithal because I was it looked like a shit movie. I wasn't I'm going to go watch that right now. I should have, but I didn't.
Little did you know, Will.
It's a full circle. We have some full circle moments on this podcast, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, it happens.
That I do have a little bit of history with this. Now, I've never seen the full movie. I've just seen that clip. So I had no idea what the context was. Mm-hmm. And I still am very confused.
You still don't know what this movie is.
Yeah, I'm still fucking confused. So we're still there.
Yeah. Well, see, before this movie, because I had this movie on on our list of movies, and I came up and I looked at it and I just I clicked on the director because his name was familiar. And I was like, where the fuck have I heard this name before? And I looked at him, and he made, from what I could tell, I'm sure there's more, but from what I could tell, he made 2 movies in a row where the plot is that a guy gets cheated on by his wife and loses his mind and kills people. And he made 2 of those movies in a row, and I just joked, okay, this dude got cheated on in real life. And
100% confirmed now that we've seen the movie.
Exercising his demons on screen for our viewing pleasure.
It is 100% confirmed after watching this movie.
And I think
I think he had a psychotic break.
I think that holds.
I think he had a psychotic break when his wife cheated on him.
It feels a little too...
because this feels a little too, like, art imitating... Well, not that he, like, went on, like, a murder spree.
Except
like, obviously, but I'm sure at that point he was mad enough
this is what you would feel like.
It fucked him up so much that, like, you would feel like you want to just... like, screw the world, I'm gonna go kill people.
Now,
how do we even start this?
Well, first of all, this is basic bitch homebrew filmmaking on the cheap, but let's just get into it. I mean,
why not?
It's just a guy is coming home, and while he's coming home,
he's generic businessman because he's on a
car phone.
He's like, oh, well, I'll make sure those reports, and I'm excited for the meeting, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? So
wearing glasses, has a suit.
Intercut with his wife cheating on another man.
Cheating on
him with another man, sorry.
And then he comes home and, like, is like, Sharon. And the whole time, it just keeps cutting back to her with the dude. Like,
it's really stupid because... when he walks in, he doesn't hear her.
No.
And she doesn't hear him.
No, not at all.
I don't know how, because it's not like big of a house.
No, there's no music or anything.
There's nothing going on.
No.
But somehow they do not hear each other.
No.
I don't know why, because he's constantly saying, Sharon.
And then he comes into his bedroom and he sees them and freaks out. And it's his, like... Well, it's someone that he knows, I guess. But they explain more later.
It's like a mutual friend kind of thing where they both know him.
Yeah, they'll explain more later. But
this is the way she handles this
is so weird,
wild. I don't know how I would feel. Look, I might have a mental breakdown if someone did this to me.
I've seen countless movies about relationships falling apart. This is a new one. Put it that way.
It's wild because she's like, well,
I tried to tell you.
Tried to tell you, and I've been with a new group of friends, and I want new things. And you know what? You should find new things, and you should find new friends to hang out with, basically. And he just leaves. And so,
yeah.
So here's the thing. Also, remember the scene, because at no point does she say get out of my house.
You focus way too much on this, buddy.
I know, but
it doesn't matter.
Because they say it later.
It doesn't matter.
He's all upset because when
he's talking to
the fake
the woman who doesn't exist. Yeah. Like I said, you're thinking way too much.
I know, but he's like, oh, she kicked me out. I know it's a guy with mental issues.
This movie is made by a lunatic. Okay.
About a lunatic
who is it's himself. Okay.
It's what he wanted to do after his wife cheated on him.
He wanted to wear a weird copper mask.
So he drives to the beach. And he starts thinking about
the red flags
on the way. Yeah. He's thinking about the signs, right?
Yeah.
But it is such a whiplash moment for this movie because it just immediately cuts. It's not like it does the, we've seen in the past where it does the foggy frame and then it goes into
zooms
a flashback.
Out. Yeah. No,
it just hard cuts to her
getting off the phone,
saying, "Oh, it was no one," and then it also shows them at dinner and she's trying to tell him, and he interrupts her with some exciting news.
And then you're like, "Oh, I get it." But at first you're just like, "Wait, are they okay now? What's happening?"
So he drives to the beach and he continues to think about it. And boy, howdy, do you want to get? Were you thinking with those crash cuts that you're like, I want more context? Well, don't you fucking worry.
You will get it.
Because this movie knows you want more context, because by God, it fucking goes into more context and gives us a little bit more of the scene and then a little bit more of the scene on her on the phone.
Because basically, it's her on the phone talking with this guy, and it's just showing he's oblivious.
It's not really, because you already know what was going on, but it's just funny the way this movie is edited, because it'll show the end of that scene and they'll show a little bit more of the previous,
but going backwards
before that, and then it'll show the full scene.
Yeah, it just goes backwards.
So you get it 3 times. It's so weird.
And then,
but I mean, it's just her on the phone with the guy, and then
he's oblivious. And then they're at dinner.
At dinner,
he has a promotion, And he's all excited, and he gives her a watch.
Well, because she's not excited at all.
No, she doesn't care.
She could not care less because she was about to break up with him.
Or tell him that I'm fucking my boss that you know.
Like something was about to happen, and she could not care less that he got a promotion.
Another thing is like you hear like an audio of like when he's walking, it's like her saying, "I'm not happy. I want more. And I want a job." And Jerry offered me a job as his secretary.
Now he does say that he's like excited for her to start her new job too
later.
Well, yeah. Well,
initially, when she tells him, he's like, "Why? You don't need to work. I make plenty of money."
Well, that's when they're at the beach, and then it shows the rest of the dinner scene.
And then at dinner scene,
if this sounds confusing, it's because it kind of is.
No, it's totally understandable.
Sure.
And but at dinner, because he's in a great mood, he tells her, "Yeah, and you know what? I'm fine with you working."
Yeah, and he's like, "I'm excited for you to start working, and I got you a present. Here's the identical watch to what I'm wearing, and it has a timer on it.
And it has an alarm timer."
Now, remember that because it becomes a stupid scene.
She also was wearing it during
the sex scene.
Yes. You didn't notice it,
but your brain
did. And and then he's like, "Oh, what was it you wanted to tell me?" She's like, "Oh, it can wait."
Yeah, because I mean, she gets a nice new watch, and she's like, maybe I can make it work out.
Yeah, it's fine.
It does not work out, obviously.
Spoiler alert, does not work out.
So then he gets back in the car and starts driving.
And he's a hitchhiker.
We think. I mean,
listen, I'm not even gonna. I'm not. You can theorize whatever you want. I'm not going there. I don't care.
It's fine.
I don't care.
He picks up a woman.
It's a fever dream.
They go to a national park to camp.
Yeah, and she's very vague. You get, I mean, because he picks her up and he's like, "Where are you going?" And she just says "Oh, I'm wherever you are."
Well, I mean, in the context of what is actually going on now, it kind of makes sense that she's so promiscuous and
but it's just
will do whatever he wants, basically.
She's giving him no actual.
Because I mean, when you're watching this scene, before you get the context, you're like, "Why the fuck is she like?"
Well, my immediate thought was, "Okay, she's a prostitute."
Well, and my immediate thought was "Okay, if she's a prostitute, why is she going along with all this shit and just letting him take her to a camping?"
She was expecting a big tip.
But then they start playing Truth or Dare. Well, okay, so. Little foreshadowing, we do get the park ranger saying there's no fires after 11. You might think, why does that come into context? But it happens later in the movie. So they're sitting at the campfire, and he's playing with a knife.
At some point before this, we got the flashback of him as a kid.
It's when they're sitting at the fireplace.
But it's before they start playing Truth or Dare.
Yes, but he's sitting there, and he's looking at her, and he's playing with the knife, and then he starts visualizing him playing Truth or Dare
as a kid
with a bunch of kids and cutting his own wrist
with a little razor,
and his
mom
has the worst reaction ever.
She says the same thing that his wife tells him: "You need to get new friends," which I guess is, I mean, I don't know, if your friends told you to cut your wrist, I guess that's accurate.
I mean, if your mom saw you slit your own wrist...
Oh, come on.
Oh, you need to get new friends.
Just get new friends.
Just get new friends. Go touch grass. Get some fresh air. Whatever.
But it's it's establishing that he's been fucked in the head.
Well, unchecked.
For a long time.
Again, this is not the movie trying to make that message. It's not.
Don't.
I'm saying it's not that movie.
It's not.
This is not a sympathetic movie.
This is
in
a
no way, shape, or
fever
form
dream.
Does it go there? I'm just trying to say, don't worry. It does not go into trying to send a message.
This is a movie about the dangers.
And if it is, it's the dumbest message you could ever receive.
This is a movie about the dangers of unchecked mental instability.
If the director was going for an allegory for unchecked mental thing,
no, this is
the
clear.
Worst fucking way to do it.
This is it. This is the dangers of unchecked mental instability, and if parents don't notice it, their child will grow up one day to go around chainsawing children out of his car.
It's the worst way to do. If that's what he was going for, it's the worst way to convey this message.
I don't know. I can think of worse ways.
Well, probably.
People do die. I mean, He shoots a bus stop full of old people.
Dude, he just like rams a fucking baby carriage at one
Baby
point.
Duff.
Like,
rest in peace, Baby Duff.
Baby Duff just eats it. Like, it's so ridiculous. I just
make sure your kids go to therapy, okay?
God,
if they don't, they'll grow up to be like Tim Ritter.
And like, careful, because if they get cheated on,
oh honey,
triggered, okay?
Fucking
big trigger there.
And don't tell your fucking significant other to get new friends, because little do.
And if you're a mom and you see your kid slit their wrist in front of a bunch of their kids, don't tell them to go touch grass and get other friends. Get that kid some help, my God.
But
anyway, sorry, we really digressed there.
No, they're at the campfire.
So they're at the campfire, and he wants to play Truth or Dare.
Well, first he talks to her, and he asks her like her name or something, and she says her name is Sharon.
Well, and she also, I guess, mentions his wife and like says, "I love you."
Yeah, my name's Sharon. I love you, and he freaks out.
When he's like, "I never told you my wife's name," and
it's like, yes, you did.
You told me about it in the car. Like,
you told me everything.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Hey, do you want to play Truth or Dare?" And
to get to know each other. Yeah.
And then she's like, "Okay, Truth or Dare?" And he's like, "Truth." And then I guess
first she goes first. She asks Truth, "Do you still love your wife?" And he says,
"Of course I do."
Yeah, I guess.
I do.
And he says Truth. No, she says Truth.
She says Truth,
and he says, "What's like? How old are you? Are you over 18?"
And she's like, "Of course I am." And he's like, "Well, I don't know if you're some.
You could be like a runaway."
The dialogue's stupid. It doesn't fucking matter. So anyway, we get to the real meat of the scene, right?
Dare.
So he gets a dare, and she dares him to throw his wallet into the fire.
He does.
And he does, and then he dares her to
kiss him.
Kiss it.
Yeah, to kiss him.
Oh, but then she ignores it and says, like, "Okay, I dare you to cut off your finger."
No. First, it's I dare you to
cut out your eye.
Yeah.
Because remember, later in the scene when he's like already cut his chest, he says, "I want you to kiss me. Okay, I dare you to kiss me." That's when he says it. So he dares her to pop her eye out, and she does.
Yeah, because he's like, "I'm not gonna do that."
But then it like cuts back to her, and she's fine. Like
but she hands him her eyeball, and then she tells him, "I want you to cut off your finger."
And he cuts off his finger, and then she's like, "Okay, I want you to cut your chest." And he's like,
he does.
He's like, I love it. It's like Joker before the Joker.
Fine.
All right. Fine. Like he does this like Truth or Dare.
We're just like, fine. God
like
damn
this,
it.
Like super exaggerated like tone of voice.
He doesn't want to do it, Will, but he will do it because he has to abide by the rules of Truth or Dare.
Fine. And then he like cuts his chest. And then he's like writhing. He's like, "Kiss me, kiss."
And then
I dare you to kiss me.
But she changes into his mom.
And then he's like
puking.
And then he starts puking and seizing on the ground. And he's like, "Truth or Dare, Truth or Dare."
And the fucking like park ranger.
The park ranger.
Like, what the fuck?
Well, I love how the park ranger he sees this guy like covered in puke, seizing on the ground. He's like, "There's no fires after 11."
Because he sees it, and then he sees him. On the ground.
Like, "Oh my God!" And then
I'll get help.
And then it shows a mental institution, and it says like Southern,
13,
like Sunny Day,
Sunnyville
mental institution.
The most like Goomba name.
Sunnydale. 13 months later, and it's like a ticker at the bottom. Yeah. It's like this like news ticker,
and they're it's like the heads of the asylum, and they're like, "Okay, well, there's budget cuts, and we have to release some people."
Okay, and then they go through, and they're like, "Okay, well,
this guy's good. This guy's good."
It's so stupid because they explain what they did, and then they're like, "Oh, well, he's rehabilitated. Let's release him." It's like a rapist and like a
it's like, "Oh, the charges have been cleared, so he's fine."
Yeah. And
this guy, he cut off his mom's head, but that was like 13 years
really
ago.
Well, so like, let's release him, and then they release this guy, and it's
funny because they release him, and he is immediately pissed.
He doesn't even like no time
this
wasted.
Is who you release. Okay,
they literally like were like, okay, He's rehabilitated, and then he immediately goes to go kill his wife.
Well, he gets out and immediately, like, it's like this mechanic.
Well, it's so stupid because, like, we forgot at the fire scene. Remember, she dares him to pull his tongue out.
Oh yeah, and he does.
And he does, and I guess there's a speech therapist, and so he gets his talking back and a fucking his finger sewn back on. He's fine.
He's fine.
That's what it's trying to convey. He's fine. Nothing irreparable happened.
Yeah, he's fine for now.
So yeah, there's this schlubby like valet car mechanic guy.
He had his car for 3 months, and then he brings it to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, I had your car for 3 months. Pay me.
Yeah. And then...
and he pulls out a dollar bill and is like, you want to play truth or dare? And the guy's like, listen, man, you're crazy.
And then he gets in the car. And so he immediately goes to a phone booth.
Payphone.
Rips open the phone book.
Well, he walks like all pissed.
Well, he does everything aggressively.
Rips it open, and he aggressively turns the pages.
Well, because he knows exactly who he's looking for.
Then he aggressively grabs the phone.
And he calls the ex-wife, and she picks up.
And he hangs up. I guess he wants to confirm that she actually lives there. And we get this
stupid scene of like her teasing her then husband, who's the guy that she cheated on him with, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go out into my shop and start working or whatever. I don't know what he's
hammering.
He just hammers shit. So she goes into the kitchen and starts cooking, and like daintily, like the safest cutting of
this is the gentlest
I've ever seen in my entire life.
This is the gentlest cutting.
It's like the very tip of the knife, and it's like slowly slicing at it.
But our dude shows up.
And he like sneaks up on her and is about to stab her, and then hears the hammering, and so he goes into the garage or whatever, or the workshop. I have fucking no idea.
Well, no, first her watch goes off.
Oh yeah, like the timer goes off, and he gets all freaked out.
And she reaches into like the cupboard and grabs a drink.
She like goes for a bottle of vodka,
and I'm like, is it a timer for you to booze up? What the fuck?
I guess so. I guess some people, whatever.
Man, it's a time for your fucking alcoholism.
Time for vodka.
As we say this on a podcast where we drink beer, whatever.
We have like 2 beers. I know. I don't think we're there yet.
Drink responsibly.
Yes,
please. But after that, first distraction.
So he gets all like dazed,
juiced up again.
And then he hears the hammering. So he goes into the workshop, and the guy's like hammering, and there's a mirror, and it shows his face on it. And then the guy looks up, and he's like, "Oh, so I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like, oh, like you." And then it cuts, and then he goes into the kitchen, and he is all bloody. And he like raises up the knife.
Then his watch goes off.
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
And she turns around and slices his belly open.
Yeah, she gets all freaked out, and then we see this really long, like 2-minute shot of him leaving the house and slowly crawling towards his car.
And then he collapses in like the grass. And she and like the wife calls the cops.
Oh my god.
And then he's just like writhing in pain.
I can't believe
again.
Oh my god.
And then this random couple,
they call the cops too, and the guy's like, "Oh, well, like the cops already know. They have a police squad in the area. They'll be here really soon."
A cop shows up and is like, "This is him.
Oh my god.
This is the guy."
And then of course it shows fucking Sunnydale mental institution
13 days later. And they wheel him into a room,
and the guy's like, "You're not my problem anymore." And then
you can't do anything in here.
Well, and then I mean, sure.
And he just starts spinning in circles in his wheelchair.
He sees he imagines 2 people,
and he starts playing truth or dare with them. But he takes out a knife and he's like, "Look what I got.
I snuck this in. They didn't catch it."
And then in the meantime, they're like,
it's like the woman that was discharging all these people is like grappling with the fact that
one of them is
also don't get used to her because she's never in the movie ever.
You never see her again.
Like she's gone.
But she's like, I feel bad because I released him, and literally the same fucking day I released him.
I love how she's never in the movie again because they're basically like, you fucked up so hard that they goodbye. You're not in the movie anymore.
But it's just funny because she has arguably the most like emotional connection to what he does, and then the movie just yeets her out of it.
I know, because they like in the next scene they're showing a new mental health person.
Yeah, it's like a specialist they brought in.
Like, they're like, get fucked, bring in the new one.
And then, but she's never seen after one scene.
I know, and then they say get fucked to her.
Whatever.
Who cares?
But it
doesn't really matter.
She feels horrible, and then the guy just says, "Well, we'll rehabilitate him."
Well, he's in a holding thing. We're gonna make sure his like room is ready. So let's go get him personally, and then you're gonna head this. Wait,
no.
Which again, I don't understand why they say that and then yeet her out of the movie.
Well, so they like you see him. He's playing his truth or dare game.
So he makes a guy cut off his arm or his hand. He says arm, but he cuts off his hand, and then he makes another guy put a grenade in his mouth, and like eat it, and then he's like, well, the guy who cut off his arm is like.
No, he tells him to cut off his leg.
And he's like, well, like, it's your turn. You cut off your face.
And so he starts cutting off his face. And then the guy...
the orderly,
the doctor, and the new expert...
the new expert come in, and they just have a discussion about what had happened.
And how all of this stems back to his childhood.
Yep, well,
and his bitch mom.
Because his mom didn't take care of him.
And his dad died when he was 1.
Unchecked mental stuff. And
he's just...
how it can affect...
a fucking ticking time bomb.
Nature versus nurture. All this fucking babble.
And then, they come in...
It's like they read a fucking, like, medical article.
Or they watched any other movie.
Yeah. One medical article or watched any other movie dealing with mental illness. And they just decided to make this scene for context.
And then none of this is mentioned again.
No, because they don't care.
Because it doesn't matter, because we get the fun shit.
So,
okay.
So the orderly opens the door, and our guy is like all fucked up, and he's like peeling off his face, and they're like, "Oh my god, like restrain him!" And he's like, "Wait!" And then he like turns around, and then like the imaginary guy, his head explodes off of him for our enjoyment.
Our enjoyment, Will. I'm glad you understand this. That's important.
For no other reason than
our enjoyment.
We saw
seeing a plastic head explode.
A guy's head kaboom off of his shoulders.
Of some fucking plastic head with a firecracker in it explode.
And so now we get a scene. It's like, I think it's a few weeks later now.
Something that they don't say.
They don't really say because it just cuts to him.
But he has a weird fucking copper mask now.
I don't know why.
And it's the same orderly, and now he's like showing someone, and he's like, look what I got for him. And the guy's like, oh, that's messed up.
Because he has a picture of his wife.
Yes, because this is the best, most professional mental institution. See,
on the planet.
They bring him a framed photo of his wife, and we thought something was gonna happen, and then it kind of didn't. But they give it to him, and they just put down the fucking picture on his bed, and he flips, right?
Well, because he crawls up on the bed, and he's like looking at the picture.
He throws
it down, and then like flips the bed up and everything, and starts pounding on the walls.
And then these two other orderlies are like,
we get like subtle racism for no reason
because the dude's a dick.
Because the guy's like, oh well, like just listen to your jive music.
And he's reading like a porno mag.
And then like they hear him pounding on the walls, and he's like, hey, do you hear that? Go check on him. And he's like, why don't you? And he's like, I said you to go check on him. Yeah.
And then he goes and he immediately opens the door and gets stabbed in the eye with a pencil.
Because they tussle. I guess he like took it from his pocket or something. That's the only thing.
We thought that he was going to take, like, the broken glass from the fucking photo and stab him with it.
Yeah, like, that would make sense, but he just stabs him with a pencil.
Movie boomed us.
And then he, like, runs past the other orderly that's reading the porno mag, and the guy chases him.
And then he's outside, and there's, like, a schlubby security guard with a gun.
He's, like, aiming his gun everywhere, and he comes up the steps.
And they wrestle, and he throws him over.
Yep, he throws him off the balcony.
And then he runs, and there's an old woman.
He just fucking, like, power kicks this woman.
she's like at the driver's side of a car with the door open, and he runs on top of the car and power kicks her.
Just kicks her so hard that she apparently dies, because that's the 5th victim.
Apparently,
because they mentioned 5 victims at that point.
And he drives away.
And so he's do we get the detective now, or does it show him driving?
I think it shows him driving.
So yeah, it shows him driving away, and he's just like in this stupid ass mask that he can't see out of. So it's like he has to like keep adjusting his view.
He keeps looking around. Yeah,
I'm sure the director, was like, "Oh, it makes him look crazy though," and the actor is just like, "I can't fucking see.
I can't see fucking shit in this thing."
Because I love it every time they show exterior views of him driving. His hazards are
on. Yeah,
because I mean.
Be careful.
Safety of your actor.
The people, yeah.
If he can't see, you probably had to have him driving really slowly on non-main streets.
Well, it's a bonus, Will, if you're making a homebrew movie, and chances are you don't have permits.
Well, I know they didn't have permits
to film.
That's why it's nondescript roads, no freeways, and he always has his hazards on.
Yep. Except for the one riveting car action scene that we'll get to.
Which broke my brain.
Well, there's a fucking woman with a baby.
Yeah, so she's just walking her baby, and this is like the most accidental, like horrific death in the entire movie.
Yeah, he
didn't. I don't think he targeted them.
No, he just plows through the car.
Yeah,
and he plows through the cart with the baby.
There was no reason to kill the baby, but then he sees the woman like on the ground, like,
and she turns into his mom.
Yeah, does this like weird flash thing, and then he reverses and runs her over, and then drives on.
And then like the detectives, the cops know now, and
I like how we mentioned there's a little tiny sign above the door.
Police, fire, emergency.
This is not a police agency.
Well, that was the first funny sign, but my favorite joke sign
is cops park here or whatever.
Is police car parking.
Yeah.
And it's like a tiny little wooden sign.
It's adorable.
This is not a police station. And it's not a police station because the fucking main cop doesn't even drive a cop car. Jokes.
But, I mean, surprisingly, only we see one cop car in the entire movie.
They had that for the one scene, but obviously they're not going to let them...
Now, what's weird about the movie, I don't know if they had... I guess they knew some personnel.
A fire truck?
We get a fire truck and an ambulance.
Someone had access to an ambulance.
And a fire truck.
They probably just called them because, they blew up a
house. Well, I mean, a little shed, a house.
A little baby shed.
They call it a house, but it's a little tiny shed.
Yeah, it's comical.
Because the movie has to happen.
And he's driving around, and these dicks pass him.
Well, they're like driving all erratically, and they like
yell at him.
They pull up to some random family and start yelling at them.
Well, there's like a family, and at first I thought it was the people that passed him.
Well, I don't get it because they're like, "Oh, well, we have no gas." Like, "Oh, I thought you said you were going to fill up when we got to the gas station." Well, like blah blah. They're just like having a fight about gas for no reason, and then they get out of the car.
Well, the dicks come up to them and they're like, "Can you help us?
Hey, like maybe we can take some of your gas, or can you help us get gas?"
And then they just start arguing with them.
And then the family just gets in the car and drives away.
Like, these guys are weird. And they drive away. And then the fucking dude pulls up and just stares at them.
When they get really upset that he has a copper mask on because they start like berating him and saying like, "Fuck you." Like,
this guy's fucking weird.
This guy's fucking weird. You're getting inconsiderate. Fuck you. Like he throws a beer.
And then they drive and then they ram into each other. And the guy goes off the road, and the two women
get out of the car and they're like, "You're crazy! I can't believe you hit that guy!"
And they just leave.
They just walk into the forest.
They literally, it's like a fucking video game NPC where it's like when you play like the old Grand Theft Auto games,
and they just walk off,
and people would just get out of the car and just walk in a straight line.
Be like, "You're crazy!" And they just walk off into like the forest,
the swamp,
or like the swamp.
Because that's where they are. They're in like a fucking forest, and they just walk off and like, okay, bye.
So the guy gets in his car, and they start like driving and ramming each other, and we get this like little chase scene, and then they drive.
He rams him off the road,
and the guy gets all pissed. So he's gonna like I okay.
Okay.
So full context here. I still have no idea what the fuck happened in this
think
scene.
he hit a second car.
I think he did, but I don't.
But it's done so weird.
I don't really understand. I couldn't really comprehend what was going on.
Me neither.
And
It's
they do this
impossible.
weird like flash thing where it's like negative and like negative shot and positive shot all randomly, and it just is confusing.
It's done in like a weird
because what
kind of slow mo.
I think he did hit another car. I think you're right. So I think
Because you see like a station wagon on fire. Remember?
yeah, of course they do the explosion behind a bush, so they don't have to show the destroyed cars. So
they don't get in trouble.
So the guy gets all pissed, and I don't know if he was like planning on ramming the main dude or what, but he like drives to the guy's car, but hits another car and it explodes. And it's behind a bush, and our guy
and it's
just
filmed so awkwardly.
Our guy is just fine, and he just drives off.
Well, no, he.
Sorry, the dickhead. His car's on fire now,
And he crawls out of it
and he like starts running around
and screaming.
And for some reason, our main dude with the copper mask, the man with the copper mask, gets out of the fucking sunroof.
He smashes through the sunroof with the machine gun
and just mows him down while he's on fire,
and drives away,
just to add insult to injury.
And drives away,
and drives all the way, and then he's driving. Is this where we see scenes where he just like randomly kills people?
Well, I think this is where
there's a certain point where he's just driving and killing people.
No, this is where the fucking cop.
Oh, there's this little tiny shed.
Yeah.
So a cop.
So a cop gets shot.
So yeah, they hear a distress call. I don't even know if this has anything to do with the copper mask
Don't
guy.
ask.
It doesn't.
Maybe
it doesn't explain that at all.
But our detective gets there, and there's a cop who's been shot.
Well, no. So
not our detective.
No, our schlubby guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This.
I don't know if you
dude.
could even call him a detective.
No.
This is our comedic relief.
Basically.
This is what they thought a comedic relief of a. Like, for a movie where a guy in a copper mask is going around and massacring just children, like, just random people everywhere.
Grandpas and uncles, no one's safe.
So we get our schlubby, like, he has a mustache and a fucking, like, a cabbie cap on and a shirt that's unbuttoned down to, like, his belly button for some reason. And he gets out and he's like pulling the guy away, and he's like, "You bastard! Like, I'll get you."
He shoots the shed, and like no one comes out.
He's like, "Come out with your hands up! I swear to God, I'll like."
And he shoots it. No one comes out, and then he finds a gas can and throws it all around the shed and lights it on fire, and the shed explodes.
And he starts maniacally laughing.
I got you, motherfucker!
Got you bastard! Ha ha ha! You bastard!
And then the detective shows up and is like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, he's like, "Why is this house on fire? Like, what are you doing? You're I can't believe you've done this. Like, this is not protocol. Like, just
because even I was thinking that, like, when he's like throwing gas on it, I'm like, yeah, this is proper protocol.
Now, for no reason, we get a very long scene of the fire department handling the shed.
Well, my favorite part is when they handle the dry shed.
Yeah.
It's not on fire anymore.
Oh, yeah, no, they're still blasting it with water, even though the fire is long gone.
And then they're picking through it, and you see a burnt corpse.
Like a charred body, and you're like, there's no way this is the guy.
Because we still have like 30 minutes of movie.
Yeah, like, there's still the climax of the film.
And
so
they get a forensics guy who can barely remember his fucking lines.
I love it's like a guy who's analyzing the dental teeth of this guy,
and he's like, "This is wrong."
He's like, "This is like an older man. Like, I don't know what was happening." So literally, the comedic relief is our schlubby guy just like killed possibly an innocent person.
Well, the guy says, like, he basically says that this is like a homeless man who lives in the shed.
Yeah. It's like an old homeless man that lives in the shed. So our schlubby guy potentially also killed a guy.
Yes.
For no reason.
And then he tells him, like, "You stay here until backup arrives."
He's like,
and then,
"I'm going to go figure it out."
And then our dude, he sees a fucking kid at like a
Here
park.
Here comes the scene that I've seen.
And he sees him and he like looks at him. He nods.
Well, I love it because the kid turns into him for like 2 seconds.
2 seconds,
right?
yeah.
And he nods like target acquired.
Target acquired. And he goes over.
It's so stupid.
And he whips out a chainsaw.
And he like starts it up while driving.
And he has it out.
He just mows this kid down.
And the kid lays on the ground and like
spits out some blood.
Twitches and spits out blood.
I know it's supposed to listen.
Listen.
I know it's supposed to be like horrific and shocking.
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
It's not.
I don't know what it's
I think they were trying to go for like shocking, right? Because he's killing kids, he's killing like all this stuff. It's so hokey and like so.
Tim Ritter is just a savage.
Well, I'm sure he was trying to like shock, because that's the whole thing, right? He's trying to shock people.
It's a critical madness.
It's a critical madness, truth or dare. So he's trying to shock people, but it just has the
it's so goofy,
most like goofy tone to it. I don't really know what the tone for this movie is, to be honest.
Now, one of my favorite bits is when he fucking pulls up to you see a bus stop.
Oh my god!
And there's 3 old people.
Okay, so this is the scene where he's like just driving around, and just killing people.
Well, this is the last innocent people he kills,
right?
Other than the end, but he, you see the bus stop, and you see him drive past,
yeah,
and then you just see his car reverse back into frame.
Well, and like it shows the people waiting on the bus stop, and then they turn into the psychiatric doctor, the girl who released him,
and the orderly,
and the orderly,
yeah.
And so he like pulls out his machine gun and just mows them all down.
Mows them down, and they sit there and twitch, and then drives away.
Well, now we get the detective, and this greatest detective ever. Now he's putting it together.
He takes out his phone book.
That he has an ex-wife.
And he goes...
After, like, countless people have died, he's finally like, oh, maybe I should look into, like, where he's going next.
So as he's getting into his non-police car to go drive to the ex-wife...
Our schlubby detective...
shows up in a taxi.
And he's like, why are you in a taxi? He's like, I couldn't find the keys to the squad car.
And he's like, you're so stupid, I wouldn't give you yesterday's news. And leaves.
Yeah.
And then the fucking dude, so he gets to his ex-wife.
So, okay.
Oh, the whole time he's driving there, we see her in the shower.
Yeah, so she...
And we gotta see, and we see her soaping every body part, baby.
And it, like, I don't know, maybe Tim Ritter loved thighs, because it just shows an extended shot of her outer thigh
as she's soaping it.
Yeah,
I know you get like 5 seconds of boobs, but 20 seconds of thighs, baby.
Now the next scene is
Tim Ritter's got the snoo. Okay,
the next scene is so fucking hilarious. I don't know how you could take it as like horrific. Because he drives up to her house and like runs into
the fucking old woman's garbage. Yeah.
So he runs into her garbage cans and she's like, I know who you are.
I can't believe I moved to this neighborhood.
Starts bitching him out. All while he's like getting out of the car, he kicks over fucking garbage, and then he gets into his car and starts loading up all his fucking like murder weapon gear.
Gets a knife.
He gets a
chainsaw,
gun,
nunchucks,
a machete,
a grenade.
Yeah. Did you? And all while she's just bitching him out still, and he's just like looking at all his weapons and loading up.
And he gets a mace.
He finally grabs a mace, and she sees it, and she's like, well, I don't know why. And then like he smacks her. He smacks her
and kills
her. And then
And then
like how can you take that as a serious scene?
There's no way.
Shot. There's no way. Fucking way that was a serious shot.
Absolutely not.
There is no way that was a serious shot.
I refuse to accept it.
Anyway, I think that was them having a little fun.
I think that was them trolling us.
That was a little fun. So he goes into her house.
Well, he chainsaws the door.
Yes. Which is not the door, because you see it on the hinges.
You see the actual door. He chainsaws the big door.
So he goes into the house, and he's like going towards the bathroom, and you think she's still taking a shower, right? And all while the detective's on his way, everything like that. And so he goes, and you think it's going to be like a Psycho scene, right? Because he takes out the machete, and he's looking at it, and then he pulls back the shower curtain, and
gets shot.
He gets shot a couple times.
The doctor.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There was no like
telegraph. There was anything.
There was no like lead up to that.
There's no nothing.
Because we haven't seen the doctor in like 20 minutes.
There's nothing. And then the doctor shoots him like 2 or 3 times. and then he walks off, and he goes into like the bedroom, and he sits in a chair, and the main focus of the shot is like the closet.
Yeah.
He's like, "Okay, Sharon, I got him. It's safe. You can come out now." Sharon. He opens the door,
and she falls out dead. He's like, "What?" Like, okay, again,
don't.
I'm not trying to do this, okay, but like,
this is not gonna ever make sense.
How?
Ever?
How?
It's not ever gonna make sense.
I don't get it.
I
don't understand how that happened.
Well, I have no fucking clue.
There was no time for him to do both.
Yeah, how the fuck? If he already killed her, why would he go to the shower?
Exactly. Did he know that the fucking psychiatrist guy was there?
I don't know, Will.
I don't fucking understand.
There's no point.
I don't.
But he shoots. Okay, anyway. But he's alive.
Yeah, so he's alive, and so he shoots the fucking
he headshots him.
The guy, and then the detective gets there and like sees our copper mask guy
with a gun,
and he's like stumbling because he's been shot.
He's like, "Hey,
okay, we're gonna play." Okay, so again, why?
Don't ask.
Why do we sympathize with him now?
Do we though?
Well, why wouldn't the detective, after this massacre, and the guy's holding a gun and he aims it at him, why wouldn't the detective just fucking shoot him?
Because he has to go back to the asylum for reasons of movie.
Well, it's just stupid. Like why does our fucking massacre guy get to live?
I don't know, because movie.
He killed a baby.
That's fine.
He gets to live. He killed a fucking baby.
Because movie.
He killed a kid for no reason with a chainsaw hanging out the side of the fucking window.
So he can go back to the asylum and potentially in a future unseen movie.
Do it again.
Exactly.
Because, listen, being cheated on is the most powerful trigger on the planet.
It's a critical madness. Okay,
that's the real critical madness, is being cheated on
and being told to get new friends. What the fuck, man? But yeah, no, he truth or dares him to put down the gun.
So our schlubby guy comes in and almost fucks it up because he's like, he has a gun, he killed all those people. That was my reaction, right? Because it's like, just fucking shoot him. No, we have to sympathize with him. Okay,
so he puts down the gun, and then ambulance comes, takes him away.
They escort him to Sunnydale, and then it just says Sunnydale Mental Institution.
And a bajillion fucking periods.
Ellipses. You know?
And then credits.
Yeah, that's it. Truth or dare.
Wow, we get a fucking theme song.
Well, and it's weird because it's like this like
ballad.
Slow, drawn out theme song.
Like soul ballad.
And it's like, are we really trying to fucking sympathize with the fucking mass murderer because he got cheated on?
Tim Murder got cheated on.
And he took that personally, okay? He really did. Because
I could tell by the movie.
He not only made one movie about it, two, possibly more.
That movie came a year after this.
Yeah, possibly more.
So by 1987, it was still fresh in his mind.
That shit fucked him up, okay? That's all I'm saying. It fucked him up.
Listen, it's a hard life, and he had to have more than one movie to exercise his demons.
Exactly.
And we will be watching it.
Oh my god. Dude, I just this movie just fucking broke my brain.
This is weird.
It's weird. I mean, it's entertaining. Like,
extremely.
There's a lot to like here because it's literally just a slasher movie about a guy that's cheated on.
But the thing is, it's not even a slasher because, first of all, it's from his perspective.
Almost okay. So it's almost like at times
it's like a stupid version of fucking. You know what it is? This is a dumb version of Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Holy shit! You're right.
Which came out the same year. But this is like a stupid idiot version of that because that movie is like horrifying.
Well, because like you're right because it's like his POV.
But
right?
this is
dumb.
But he got cheated on.
That's literally like that was the catalyst. He got cheated on.
It's just I don't know. It's It's the kind of thing that only a homebrew could produce.
And I kid you not, probably I will say this with 100% certainty, the stupidest mask.
It's a choice.
I
because
do not understand.
We never even mentioned it, but the reason he has this mask
is because he cut his face off.
Yeah, but we didn't mention it when we were talking about
disfigured,
it.
Yeah.
But that's why they make him wear the mask, because apparently his scars are so ugly. He's so uggo that they can't bear to look at him. So they make him wear the weirdest fucking mask I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, it's like this copper, like, no fucking feature except for a giant frown.
He looks like a fucking Dark Souls character.
You know how in, like... Now, I did mention this. I'm posting it on social media. You know how in, like, the 2018...
They have the Snapchat filters?
Again, nothing to do with this movie at all. Nothing. They're not similar. But, yeah, they have the Snapchat features of the smile.
So spooky, yeah.
This is, like, the reverse of that. It's, like, a frown.
Well, I get it. He has a frowny
He's sad because his wife cheated on him.
My wife left me.
This is really dumb, but it's really fun, actually. Like, I actually really enjoyed it because, I don't know, it's just so ridiculous and so just stupid.
You know what I like, Will?
What?
You know what I always appreciate? I appreciate a movie that doesn't waste my goddamn time.
Oh, it doesn't. It's an hour and 27 minutes, and no time wasted. It gets right to it. Well, I mean, there's a little build-up.
Well, they have to set it up.
But like,
we have to see that he's...
But once it goes, it just goes. It's like, it does not stop. Well, and it's adorable how hard they tried.
Oh, man.
And like, they're trying to be like shocking and like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy just randomly killing people. And it's like, it's the stupidest fucking murder scenes. And like the fucking... The stupidest reason for him like going on this
My wife
rampage.
left me.
I just love the unintentional comedic timing of like him getting out of a mental institution and then literally getting released, going in
same day,
trying to kill his ex-wife
immediately,
and then immediately going back to the mental institution,
and apparently 13 days later
getting right out again. Yep.
It's just comical.
It's like, so unintentionally comical, which makes it even better because they were trying. They were trying to do something here.
Because we've all seen those movies about psycho killers, you know, where they, you know, they're just psycho killers. They just kill people. We've all seen those movies.
Well, we've also seen psycho killers where they get captured again.
And then they get released.
They murder their way out of the fucking...
Yeah, or they get released.
Right? It's like, we've seen that before.
But I've never seen it done in such a stupid, amusing way. And that's impressive. Because there's so many movies just like this that are horrifying. And then there's this.
Yeah, then there's
this fucking
Truth or Dare critical madness.
Like, because, you know, there's like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, but there's a fucking movie from the 80s called Angst about a guy who he kills like a woman, and then it's like he gets sent to prison, and he gets released like 5 years later, and it's like the whole movie, and the movie's like building up the fact that you know that the second he gets out of prison, he's gonna murder people again.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's
you know he's just waiting to get out of prison to satiate his fucking bloodlust. And you know that's what's gonna happen. And it's horrifying. And then you watch this, and I just like, every time he goes back to that asylum, I'm just like, I cannot wait for this idiot to get out again.
This is like the it's like the polar opposite of those movies.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like trying to be shocking like those movies and trying to be like daring and like really like make you think about it, right?
Sure.
No. Truth or Dare, I don't know if that's what they were going for, but it'd be more hilarious if it was, because they fail in every fucking time, and it's just entertaining to see what this fucking goon does next with his fucking bronze mask.
No, I could not wait for him to get out of that asylum. I was just like, please.
At no point could I take this movie seriously at all.
I was just like, oh, he's going back to the asylum? Oh, I can't wait for him to get out again. This is gonna be great.
I know, it's like a fucking like comedy of errors and like the worst worst fucking personnel in any regard ever.
Like the second time that they cut to the fucking Sunnydale Asylum, the fucking stock photo,
dude,
we started laughing so
hilarious. And the ticker goes, and you're just like, really?
We're doing this?
We're doing this. He went back.
Like the second time he got sent back to there, I could not stop laughing.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Shitty to pretty.
We do entertainment value. If you're new here, Shitty to Pretty is not an official rating system because these are all bad movies. Okay?
Most of
them. There are some really good ones. But this is not like a...
usually this is for entertainment quality.
This is entertainment quality, how much we enjoyed it. And holy shit, did I enjoy this movie. I'm
going to be bold. 9 out of 10.
I was going to say 9 too. And if you're new here, we usually agree and there's no arguments. And so I'm sorry if you're looking for that.
The only disagreements we've had is like a 1 fucking point.
Yeah. It's like the most meaningless arguments
never been
on the planet.
You know.
It's never been this big blowout like you give it a 1 and I give it a 10.
How fucking dare you?
No, I'm going to argue my point.
We're going to have a debate for the ages. No.
I don't know if that will ever happen.
Probably
because our tastes are very similar.
That's why we're through the podcast.
Oh my god, it's like we're friends or something that wanted to talk about bad movies. What?
Thanks, Tim Ritter.
Thank you, Tim Ritter.
What was yours? Was that also a 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that. That's a good. Because I don't know if it's like. It doesn't achieve that like 10 level.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not like
it's close.
It is close. It did get close, but there wasn't like. It needed like one more like just insanity scene.
Yeah, it needed
one more scene like the one with the prostitute in the woods.
It needed like. I almost want to say if the ending was more insane, and don't get me wrong, it was insane. It was pretty insane. But if the ending was even more, it probably would have tipped it for me.
Yeah.
Because this is so stupid. It's so glorious.
I'm also glad it got a 9 because if they did a whole thing of like this was all in his head and he was fucking imagining everything, then it would have probably got a 1 because I hate those cop out endings.
I figured they weren't gonna do that because we saw like the cop's perspective.
I didn't think they would either, but I'm just saying if they did do something like that because we've seen it before where it's like it's just some guy losing his mind. You know, it's just such a lazy way to end your movie.
It's like, I have no ideas.
Yeah. And so I really don't like those endings. I think they're lazy. You know, sue me. I'm sure there's movies that have that kind of ending that are fine.
Oh, yeah. I know there's movies that are good. But for a movie like this...
Yes, I'm glad it ended the way it did. So yeah, 9, A Truth or Dare, A Critical Madness. We did watch it on YouTube. Just search Truth or Dare.
Apparently you can rent this.
1986. You can, because there was a Blu-ray release. I guess it has enough of a cult following that there was a release for it. And you can buy or rent it if you want, but you can watch it for free. The quality's not great. But thank you, Letterboxd Fun Time,
for uploading this.
This
beautiful film for free.
Go watch it there. The quality is not great, but it's watchable, so that's good.
It's watchable. It adds to the shit factor.
Go watch it there. Totally free. Yeah, so I don't know. Like that was fun. I enjoyed that. It was a fun watch. It really was.
Yeah,
it'll live rent free. That car explosion scene. I still will think about it from time to time, thinking.
I don't remember
what the fuck happened.
I don't remember the last time I saw a scene that was so badly edited and filmed, and I still liked it.
I know.
Like that's impressive, because usually that kind of shit drives me insane.
Well, I think it's because it was so ridiculous. Like,
I think it's because
the build up to that is just guy being a total fucking jackass on the road, and then
for no fucking reason,
and then they just play chicken for no reason, and he just somehow runs into another car
and explodes
behind a bush
through the weirdest cinematography I've ever seen.
Yeah, where you literally can't make heads or tails of it.
And it happens so fast that your brain can't even like comprehend
All we know is he gets out of the car on fire and gets shot by this guy.
Gets mowed down.
It's amazing. Go watch Truth or Dare: A Critical Madness, and see what we mean by it. I think that's all I got.
Yeah,
I think that's
and then one of you for the next episode.
Oh yes,
your request is getting fulfilled.
Yes,
well,
and
I mean, I'm assuming I can watch this movie. I'm putting it out there that I should be able to watch this movie.
Yeah.
So we will watch one of your requests.
And then I'll also say with the requests, like any other movie, on our socials, I'm going to be posting the poster the day of.
Yes.
Because I don't want to give you fuckers too much time in advance to watch the movie and come up with your own idea, okay? That's not the point.
Day of, like us.
Day of, like we know, okay?
Fresh.
Except
me, because I already
well,
have a list
he already
of
has the list.
50 fucking movies.
He has the master list.
But even I, always, the day of, I look up that list just to make sure.
If we're making up titles, Alex is the pre-planner of the whole podcast.
I got all your requests on. I wrote it all down.
I'm your gorilla brain social media manager that just fucking presses a button.
Well, I spend hours scouring through the fucking years looking for these goddamn movies. Do you think I ever would have watched this pile of shit on my own free will?
No one would. That's the point.
Except Elijah Wood, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe Elijah Wood. But the whole context for that was it was the first
horror movie you ever watched. Imagine
this is. Can you imagine this
thing?
is your introduction to horror movies?
I don't know what to say.
Like, holy shit!
Like, good luck.
I would be fucked up after that. Like, can you imagine if like Manos was like your introduction to horror movies? I would never watch horror movies ever again.
Oh baby, it's you can only go up from there.
I know. Well, but I would like be like, okay, if this is what horror movies are all about, I'm done. I don't want this.
Or you're just so enamored by the shoulder acting.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that fucking movie. If you're new, I do not go listen to our first episode. It's embarrassing.
We had to be an original.
Yeah.
But yes, don't,
because we started with Manos Hands of Fate.
Or do whatever.
It's very rough. It's rough. But thank you all for listening. For They Mostly Come Out at Night. This has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Rest in peace, Baby Duff.
Baby Duff. Oh, and Asbestos Felt.
And Asbestos Felt.